Spiritual intelligence, what is it? Hi, this is Philip Montrose. My wife Jane and we help people step up and tap into the heart of success with holistic coaching and healing. And in this short video, I want to explore spiritual intelligence. What is it? How do you boost yours? Well, there are many intelligences, researchers tell us, more than what people normally think of the normal smarts or doing well in school quote and what that means. Perhaps a dozen lines or multiple intelligences have been found, and spiritual intelligence can be considered one of them. For this video, I want to break it into four parts, four intelligences: body or physical intelligence, mental, cognitive intelligence, and emotional, feeling intelligence, and for the spiritual intelligence, which embraces all. And you might understand them as your body develops, as your brain develops. That starts with the body, of course, your internal workings of your body, and that notes with your brain development as well, your movements, your sensing, your survival. That starts it off. Body intelligence, physical intelligence. And then as you develop, thoughts come into mind. You start to think very primitive thoughts at first, very limited thoughts, but that capacity in reasoning and analysis grows, and that's your mental line, your mental intelligence. Third, feelings. You start to feel yourself. You're aware of your feelings and how it impacts other people. And fourth, the spiritual intelligence, how you fit into the bigger picture, ultimately the universe as a whole, and all sentient beings eventually come into consideration. So let's break that down a little bit more. Abraham Maslow, you may know, the famous researcher, did a pyramid. Here's the pyramid. And at the bottom, the lower needs are your physical needs, the physical intelligence. And that starts you off with survival and security. And then you have thoughts, how you think and reason eventually. And then belonging, going up the pyramid, belonging needs, relating to others, fitting in. And fourth, the top of the pyramid is the self-actualizing, the highest needs, the spiritual drives, the spiritual intelligence. Let me embody that, give you a quick example of each of the four intelligences. So one, physical intelligence. I want to give you an exercise from Bob Cooley, The Genius of Flexibility, stretching and strengthening, flexibility and strengthening, doing a couple things at once. I'm pulling my hand toward my arm and I'm pushing my arm in the opposite direction, pulling in and pushing out. You might do that. So I'm not only getting strengthening, I'm getting flexing too. I'm doing two things at once, increasing range of motion, a body intelligence example. And then cognitive, mental intelligence. I have to figure out in this video how to communicate logically, coherently, linearly to you, word by word, moment by moment, so it makes sense, hopefully. And third, feelings. What am I feeling? What am I expressing? How is my face and gestures, my emoting coming out so it makes sense to you and it's genuine and authentic? And I'm thinking of you and the feelings of you, my audience, the impact I have going on the other end of the person watching this video, watching me now. So that's my emotional intelligence at work. And fourth, yes, spiritual intelligence. Embracing them all is a bigger awareness, a bigger impact of myself, my smaller self with my bigger self. What am I doing here? That more transcendent self, that soulful self, that higher self that connects to the world at large and the universe and everything. And that has to do with life purpose, living intentionally, making a contribution, making a difference, making your life count, doing what you love, and following your heart and that higher intelligence of your heart. When your heart and your brain connect in a higher level, it transcends into spiritual intelligence and awakening. So all the intelligence work together. They build on each other. There's the body, there's the mind, the mental intelligence, the heart, the emotional intelligence, and the big picture, the spiritual intelligence. Let me give you some examples how they interact and build on each other. So the body, you're aware of your environment, you're sensing energy, you're picking things up all the time, And that helps you stay in balance and be aware and preserving yourself. And if you go out of balance, if you become sick, if you become injured, that is feedback too of something that needs correction or attention for spiritual growth and actually just preserving yourself and surviving and just becoming aware and functioning too, to grow with your physical body and spiritually. And then there's the mental, the cognitive. Well, you may get brilliant spiritual insights from your meditations, from literature, from just anything, but you need language to express it, to edit it, to structure it, to understand it, to make it express it into a wisdom. So a wisdom where is putting into word or language in some ways, or art. And that takes us to the emotional intelligence, how that relates to the spiritual intelligence. Well, emotionally, you are perceiving things that are authentic, real, genuine. What people are saying and doing, how authentic or deep or profound is it? And beauty, you're appreciating beauty with your heart. And what is good and true and virtuous, you're having a sense of a higher morality. That can be part of your heart's perceptions too, and relating to spiritual intelligence and compassion. Compassion for yourself and your own suffering and other people's suffering too. Big part of emotional and spiritual intelligence. And then spiritual intelligence itself, which may use the body, it may use the mind, the heart, and sometimes it transcends it all into an inner knowingness. Just it knows what is true, what is deep, what is right in the moment, being in the timeless moment, being in the now, living in that free space that transcends time and space, that just is. And that's how they all work together. They build on each other, the body, the mind, the heart, and the big picture. They all work together. So 4 intelligences: physical intelligence, mental intelligence, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence. Boost your IQ, boost your spiritual IQ, use them all. And if you'd like to know more about how to develop your spiritual intelligence, I invite you to check out a little course we did on discovering your life purpose, a key component of spiritual IQ, and there's a link here below. So this is Philip Montrose wishing you the best in developing your spiritual intelligence and more.